Alien. Alien is one of the greatest sci-fi films ever made. It's one of the greatest horror films ever made. Of course, this film is great. I don't need to explain that to you, but I do want to talk about my appreciation for this film, what I like about this film. If you have not seen this film, of course you should go see it. I will be talking about like spoilers and things that happen in the film, most of which will be like obvious stuff that you probably have seen in other films, because this film is so iconic. Now, I should state, when I watched this film, I did watch the original theatrical version from 1979. That's the correct. That's 1979. First of all, this is the 4K. Here, let me put that to the side, which includes Alien and Alien in 4K. It's unfortunate that we'll probably never get a 4K version of Aliens because of the rights with 20th Century Fox being owned by Disney, and Disney canceling 4Ks and not really focusing on physical media anymore. But this film is fantastic. This film's so good. This is a film that's been so widely referenced in pop culture that it's not surprising anymore. Like, look at my Star Wars shirt. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. When you talk about the Mandalorian, or not Mandalorian, the twist being that Darth Vader is Luke's father, it's not surprising to majority of people because even if you haven't seen Star Wars, that thing's been parodied, made fun of. It's been in Star Wars, it's been everywhere. There's a whole trilogy of movies that explain that twist. Same thing with this. I dropped the twist the scene with the chestburster scene, which is fantastic. This is a beautifully directed movie. The spaceships are great. I watched this movie a few years ago, and I watched it again today because it's kind of Halloween season, so it's the perfect time to watch it. Kind of a horror movie. Also, I'm waiting for Mandalorian Season 2 to drop tonight. It's horrific. It is scary. It's unique. It's visually interesting. This movie is beautiful. It is one of the scariest movies ever made, and a lot of that has to do down to the silence. Like I said, I rewatched this movie. I forgot how much silence there was in this movie. There is not a lot of talking. There's a lot of dead air. There's a lot of just shots of spaceships. It's not a lot of talking, which is normal for a movie in the 70s. But it's just not like I remembered it. I just remember the scary parts, the chestburster scenes, so many memorable scenes. The great amount of dead air as this horrific amount of tension where you're just waiting for things to happen, and they scare the ever-loving crud out of me every time. I sometimes just have nightmares about some of the stuff within this movie. It's excellently well-paced. It's incredibly well-directed. It's beautifully acted, especially from Sigourney Weaver. She's so good in this movie as Ripley. She's one of the best female characters ever in a Hollywood film. She is just so good. She is my favorite part of the Alien series, one of the best characters of the Alien series. She's one of the few characters that actually survives the majority of the Alien series. But it's such a good movie. What's interesting, the xenomorph is such a well-designed thing. It's a great effect. It was held over from a Dune movie. Now, Dune, if you don't know, is a sci-fi novel, considered one of the most influential sci-fi novels ever written. It's said to have influenced Star Wars and many other things, like Flash Gordon, different stuff. Dune is a great book. You should read it. Now, Dune is a film already from the 80s. It's also a film that is either coming out or has come out by director the director of Rival. I'm forgetting his name. He has like a French name, and if I don't remember how to pronounce it, I'm gonna butcher his name or give him a wrong name. If I'm not mistaken, it's Denis Villeneuve, director of 2049, Blade Runner 2049, and then also Arrival. Like I said, it's a great film. He's a great director, but Dune is one of those stories that's very hard to adapt, and this, I'm forgetting the director, it was a canceled film. It was a very ambitious project. His script was so long that it could have been a film that could have been over 4 hours long if they had shot everything in it, and that still would not have covered everything in the script. It is an extensive script. He listed a lot of camera angles and different shots that would not be possible for multiple decades into the future of filmmaking. And so this film never happened that way because of that. And this film is great because the xenomorph is actually based on, or was leftover things from the canceled Dune movie. Now, this Dune movie sounds fantastic, but it would not have worked. It would have been a mess, and it would have ended up canceled even if they had made it longer into production. But sadly, we didn't get to see this ambitious project, which I'm okay with. Personally, as a huge Dune fan, I love the book. You cannot make a good Dune movie in my eyes, but many directors have tried. And many will continue to try, just like with Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. But I feel like that book is also another novel that's unadaptable. But this is a great creature left over from that movie that gave us one of the scariest, most influential sci-fi movies ever made, next to probably Star Wars, 2001 and things like that. But this is such a great movie. One of the best films ever made, one of the most horrific films ever made. And again, I cannot do this film justice because you probably already know this film is one of the greatest films ever made. Of course you do. Everybody should watch this movie. I don't care who you are, what age you are. I mean, obviously this film is R, but it doesn't change the fact that this film is great and everybody should watch it.